Self-confidence is not just a trait, it's a powerful force that can shape how you navigate the world and protect yourself from those who seek to manipulate or diminish your worth. A narcissist thrives on insecurity, preying on any cracks in your self-esteem to assert control. When you exude confidence, you become a fortress that they cannot penetrate, a beacon of strength that disrupts their power dynamics. They are masters of creating doubt, twisting words, and making you second-guess your decisions. But when you believe in yourself truly and deeply, they lose their grip, their power fading like shadows in the light. Confidence begins with understanding your value, not just as a person, but as someone deserving of respect, love, and freedom. Narcissists are experts at making you feel small, as if your achievements are insignificant or your opinions don't matter. They'll undermine your successes with backhanded compliments or dismissive remarks, all designed to chip away at your sense of self. But self-confidence acts as a shield because it doesn't require their validation. It says, "I know who I am, and I don't need you to define me." That mindset is kryptonite to a narcissist. They can't handle someone who stands firm, unshaken by their attempts to belittle or control. A person with self-confidence doesn't just speak with authority, they radiate it. It's in the way they carry themselves, the way they walk into a room, and the way they handle adversity. Narcissists often test boundaries by trying to provoke a reaction to see if they can rattle your foundation. If you respond with doubt or hesitation, they'll take it as a sign that they've found a weakness. But when your confidence is unshakable, when you respond with calm certainty, it sends a clear message: I will not be moved. This doesn't mean you need to shout or argue. In fact, quiet confidence can be even more powerful. A calm, unwavering demeanor says, "You don't have the power to disturb my peace." The beauty of self-confidence is that it doesn't depend on external factors. It's not about your job title, the car you drive, or the number of people who praise you. True confidence comes from within, built on a foundation of self-awareness and self-acceptance. Narcissists hate this because it means they can't use your vulnerabilities against you. They thrive on creating dependency, making you feel like you need their approval to feel good about yourself. But when you're confident, you're free. You don't need anyone to validate your existence or your choices. This independence strips them of their ability to control you, leaving them frustrated and powerless. Confidence is also about setting standards and refusing to settle for less. Narcissists often push boundaries to see how far they can go, testing whether you'll tolerate disrespect or manipulation. They might start small, interrupting you in conversations, making subtle jabs at your choices, or minimizing your feelings. If you let it slide, they'll escalate, pushing further and further until you're caught in their web. But self-confidence empowers you to say, "This is not acceptable." It gives you the strength to stand up for yourself, to demand the respect you deserve, and to walk away if necessary. And nothing frustrates a narcissist more than someone who refuses to play their game. Self-confidence is not arrogance, and it's important to make that distinction. Arrogance seeks to dominate others, to inflate the ego by tearing others down. Confidence, on the other hand, is about being secure in yourself without needing to compare or compete. Narcissists often confuse the two because their entire existence revolves around proving they're superior. But true confidence doesn't need to prove anything, it just is. When you're confident, you're not looking for a fight, you're simply living your truth. And that truth is impenetrable to a narcissist's attempts to undermine it. Another reason self-confidence acts as a shield is that it allows you to trust your instincts. Narcissists are skilled manipulators, often twisting reality to suit their narrative. They'll gaslight you, making you question your memories, your perceptions, even your sanity. But when you're confident, you trust yourself. You know what you saw, what you heard, and how you felt. You don't let them rewrite the story because you're secure in your version of events. This self-trust makes it impossible for them to distort your reality, leaving them scrambling to maintain their facade. Building self-confidence takes time, especially if you've been in the orbit of a narcissist who has worked hard to erode it. It starts with small steps, acknowledging your strengths, celebrating your achievements, and silencing the inner critic that echoes their negativity. Over time, these practices build a foundation so strong that no amount of manipulation can shake it. And once you reach that point, you'll find that their tactics no longer work. The jabs, the lies, the attempts to control, they'll all fall flat because you know who you are and you won't let anyone take that from you. Self-confidence is about freedom. It's the freedom to be yourself unapologetically and without fear. It's the freedom to walk away from toxic situations, knowing you'll be okay on your own. And it's the freedom to live a life that's true to you, untainted by the opinions or manipulations of others. When you embrace that freedom, you become untouchable. You become a force that no narcissist can break. And in the end, that's what makes them miserable. Boundaries are a crucial part of any healthy relationship, but they become absolutely essential when dealing with a narcissist. A narcissist thrives on overstepping limits, testing thresholds, and inserting themselves into every corner of your life. They are experts at manipulation, guilt-tripping, and breaking down walls to gain control. Setting firm boundaries is not just an act of self-respect, it's an act of survival. It's about reclaiming your personal space, protecting your peace, and refusing to allow someone else to dictate the terms of your existence. Boundaries are not just barriers, they are declarations of self-worth. Narcissists despise boundaries because they represent control that is out of their reach. They want to infiltrate your decisions, your emotions, and your thoughts. They thrive in environments where lines are blurred, where they can manipulate others without resistance. By establishing boundaries, you create a structure that forces them to play by rules they cannot rewrite. It's not about controlling them, it's about taking control of yourself and your life. Boundaries act as a safeguard, preventing their toxicity from spilling into areas where it doesn't belong. The challenge with setting boundaries is that narcissists often test them relentlessly. They will push, prod, and provoke, trying to find weaknesses they can exploit. For instance, if you decide you won't engage in arguments or let them invade your personal time, they'll do everything they can to disrupt your peace. They might accuse you of being selfish, unloving, or cold, all in an effort to make you second-guess your stance. This is where the strength to enforce boundaries becomes critical. It's not enough to set them, you must also defend them, even when it's uncomfortable or difficult. Enforcing boundaries requires clarity and consistency. A narcissist will use ambiguity to their advantage, twisting your words and actions to fit their narrative. That's why your boundaries need to be crystal clear. For example, instead of saying, "I need more space," you might say, "I will not be available to talk after 8 p.m. Specificity leaves no room for interpretation or manipulation. Similarly, consistency is key because narcissists will test your resolve repeatedly. The moment they sense that you're willing to bend or compromise, they'll exploit that opening. By standing firm, you send a message that your boundaries are non-negotiable. One of the most powerful aspects of boundaries is the freedom they bring. When you set and enforce boundaries, you take back control of your time, energy, and emotions. Narcissists are skilled at consuming all three, leaving you drained and uncertain of your own needs. Boundaries act as a filter, allowing you to decide what you let in and what you keep out. This freedom is something a narcissist can't stand because it reduces their influence over you. They want to be the center of your world, dictating your choices and emotions. But boundaries create a space where they no longer have that power. It's important to recognize that boundaries are not about punishing the narcissist or trying to change their behavior. Narcissists are unlikely to change, and attempting to do so is a waste of your energy. Instead, boundaries are about changing your behavior and protecting your well-being. They're about defining what you will and won't tolerate, regardless of how the narcissist reacts. This shift in focus from trying to manage the narcissist to managing yourself is a game changer. It puts the power back in your hands and leaves the narcissist scrambling to adapt. Narcissists often respond to boundaries with anger or manipulation. They might accuse you of being unfair or unkind, attempting to make you feel guilty for protecting yourself. They might even try to escalate their behavior, hoping you'll back down. This is where emotional resilience becomes essential. You have to remind yourself that their reaction is not a reflection of your actions, but of their inability to control you. Boundaries are not selfish, they are necessary. They are a way of valuing yourself enough to say, I deserve better than this. Creating boundaries also requires self-awareness. You need to understand your own limits, your triggers, and your priorities. What drains you? What makes you feel disrespected? What compromises your peace? Once you identify these factors, you can create boundaries that address them directly. For instance, if you know that constant criticism affects your self-esteem, you might set a boundary around how you engage with the narcissist's negative comments. You might decide that you won't respond to personal attacks, or that you'll leave the conversation if it turns toxic. These boundaries are not about avoiding conflict, but about preserving your mental and emotional health. Boundaries are also a form of self-respect. They show that you value yourself enough to protect your time, energy, and well-being. Narcissists often try to undermine this by making you feel like your boundaries are unreasonable or unnecessary. They might accuse you of being difficult or accuse you of overreacting. But the truth is, setting boundaries is one of the most reasonable and empowering things you can do. It's a way of saying, I matter, and my needs are important. This self-respect is something a narcissist cannot take away from you, no matter how hard they try. Boundaries are about reclaiming your life. They are about taking a stand and refusing to let someone else dictate how you live, think, or feel. They are not a wall to keep people out, but a framework to ensure that only healthy, respectful interactions are allowed in. When you set boundaries, you're not just protecting yourself from a narcissist's toxicity, you're creating space for growth, healing, and self-discovery. You're choosing to prioritize your well-being over their demands, and that is a decision that can transform your life. Truth is an uncompromising force. It demands accountability from everyone it touches, serving as a mirror that reflects reality, no matter how uncomfortable or inconvenient. For some, this reflection is empowering, allowing them to grow and evolve. For others, particularly those who prefer deception and manipulation, truth becomes a threat. It exposes the lies they've built their world around, shattering illusions and forcing them to confront what they would rather ignore. Accountability is not optional when truth enters the room. It insists that actions have consequences, words have weight, and integrity matters. Living in truth requires courage because it means taking responsibility for your choices and their outcomes. It's about owning your mistakes instead of deflecting blame, and it's about acknowledging your shortcomings rather than pretending they don't exist. This kind of accountability is rare because it's hard. It forces you to look at yourself honestly, to confront areas where you've fallen short, and to make amends where necessary. But this is also where growth happens. By holding yourself accountable to the truth, you become stronger, wiser, and more self-aware. You step into a place of authenticity that no one can take from you. On the other hand, those who fear truth often do so because they know it will dismantle their carefully constructed facades. Narcissists, for example, despise accountability because it threatens their image. They thrive on controlling narratives and twisting reality to suit their agenda. For them, truth is not a tool for growth, but an obstacle to overcome. They avoid it at all costs, shifting blame onto others, denying responsibility, and creating elaborate stories to justify their behavior. But no matter how much they resist, truth has a way of catching up. It's patient but persistent, and eventually it demands to be faced. Accountability also extends beyond the personal realm. It's vital in relationships. Truth is the foundation of trust, and without accountability, that foundation crumbles. When someone refuses to be accountable, they undermine the bond between themselves and others. They create an environment where dishonesty and betrayal can thrive, leaving those around them feeling disrespected and devalued. On the other hand, when both parties embrace accountability, relationships flourish. There's a mutual respect that comes from knowing each person is willing to own their role, admit their mistakes, and work toward resolution. This kind of accountability deepens connection and fosters genuine understanding. However, accountability is not just about admitting fault, it's also about making changes. Acknowledging the truth is the first step, but action must follow. Without change, accountability is hollow. It's not enough to say, "I was wrong." You must also ask, "How can I make it right?" and then follow through. This process can be uncomfortable because it often requires sacrifice, effort, and humility. But it's also liberating. When you align your actions with the truth, you free yourself from the weight of deception and dishonesty. You step into integrity, where your words and deeds reflect your values. For those who seek to avoid accountability, truth becomes their greatest adversary. They might attempt to suppress it, manipulate it, or deny it altogether. But these efforts are ultimately futile. Truth is not something that can be buried forever. It has a way of surfacing, often at the most inconvenient times. And when it does, the lack of accountability becomes glaringly obvious. This is why embracing truth and accountability from the start is so powerful. It allows you to face challenges head-on with integrity and strength, rather than being blindsided when the truth inevitably emerges. Accountability also brings clarity. It helps you see situations for what they are rather than what you wish they could be. It removes the fog of excuses and justifications, leaving you with the reality of your choices. This clarity is essential for growth because you can't improve what you refuse to acknowledge. By holding yourself accountable, you gain insight into your patterns, behaviors, and triggers. You learn from your mistakes rather than repeating them. And you create a path forward that is rooted in honesty and self-awareness. One of the most challenging aspects of accountability is confronting the consequences of your actions. Sometimes facing the truth means admitting that you've hurt someone, made a poor decision, or fallen short of your potential. These moments can be painful, but they are also opportunities for redemption. By taking responsibility and making amends, you show others and yourself that you are committed to growth. You demonstrate that your integrity matters more than your ego, and that you are willing to do the hard work of living authentically. This kind of accountability earns respect and builds trust, both of which are invaluable. Truth and accountability also go hand in hand when it comes to setting boundaries. By being accountable to yourself, you ensure that you don't allow others to cross lines or take advantage of you. You recognize your worth and refuse to compromise it for the sake of appeasing someone else. This self-accountability is empowering because it puts you in control of your life. It allows you to create an environment where truth is valued and respected, rather than dismissed or ignored. And when you hold others accountable to the truth, you set a standard that demands respect and integrity. Truth and accountability are about alignment, aligning your actions with your values, your words with your intentions, and your relationships with mutual respect. They are about living in a way that is honest, transparent, and real. This kind of life is not always easy, but it is always worth it. Truth might demand accountability, but it also brings freedom. It liberates you from the burden of deception and the chaos of dishonesty, allowing you to live with clarity, purpose, and peace. Accountability is not a punishment, it's a gift, one that allows you to grow into the best version of yourself. Independence is a concept that many strive for, a goal that represents self-sufficiency, freedom, and the ability to navigate life without leaning on others. But there's a truth about independence that often goes unspoken. It can disempower those who seek to control, manipulate, or dictate the course of another person's life. Independence is a threat to those who thrive on dependency, who rely on others to fulfill their own needs, bolster their own egos, or validate their own existence. When you step into independence, you step away from the influence of those who wish to keep you tethered, and in doing so, you reclaim your personal power. The essence of independence lies in self-reliance. It's the ability to meet your own needs, to solve your own problems, and to stand on your own 2 feet, regardless of external circumstances. This kind of self-reliance is profoundly liberating. It removes the need to seek approval, assistance, or affirmation from others, which in turn diminishes their ability to control you. Independence means you are no longer at the mercy of someone else's opinions, moods, or decisions. You create your own path, define your own values, and set your own boundaries, free from the influence of those who might seek to undermine or exploit you. For individuals who attempt to exert control over others, whether through manipulation, coercion, or emotional dependency, independence is their greatest obstacle. They depend on your reliance to maintain their power. If you're constantly seeking their guidance, approval, or validation, they hold a certain level of influence over your choices. But when you cultivate independence, that influence crumbles. Suddenly, their opinions no longer dictate your decisions. Their approval no longer determines your self-worth, and their ability to sway your actions disappears. In this way, independence not only liberates you, but also disempowers those who once held sway over your life. Independence also comes with an emotional strength that is difficult to undermine. When you're independent, your sense of self-worth is no longer tied to how others perceive you or treat you. This resilience disempowers those who might try to use emotional tactics such as guilt, shame, or flattery to manipulate you. Their attempts to sway your emotions lose their potency because you're grounded in your own values, priorities, and sense of purpose. You're not easily swayed by their attempts to make you feel unworthy, unlovable, or incapable. Instead, you remain focused and centered, knowing that your value comes from within, not from external validation. Financial independence is another key aspect of empowerment that removes leverage from those who seek control. Money is often used as a tool of influence, with one party holding financial power over another. This power dynamic can create a sense of dependency that is difficult to escape. But when you achieve financial independence, whether through earning your own income, managing your own finances, or building your own wealth, you take back that power. No one can dictate your choices or hold financial support over your head as a means of control. Financial independence allows you to live life on your own terms, free from the constraints of dependency. The journey to independence is not always easy. It requires effort, discipline, and a willingness to face challenges head-on. But it is through these challenges that you build resilience and strength. Independence is not about isolating yourself or rejecting help when it's needed. It's about ensuring that help is a choice, not a necessity. It's about creating a life where you can rely on yourself first, where your foundation is strong enough to withstand the storms of life without collapsing. This kind of independence is empowering because it allows you to navigate life with confidence and clarity, knowing that you are capable and resourceful. For those who are used to controlling or influencing you, this newfound independence can be deeply unsettling. They may resist your efforts, attempting to pull you back into a state of dependency. They might use tactics like guilt, criticism, or sabotage to undermine your confidence and keep you reliant on them. But their resistance is a reflection of their fear, not your inadequacy. It's a sign that your independence threatens the dynamics they've come to rely on. The more you embrace your independence, the less power they have over you, and the more they are forced to confront their own insecurities and shortcomings. Independence also creates space for genuine, healthy relationships. When you're not dependent on others to fulfill your needs, you approach relationships from a place of wholeness rather than lack. This disempowers those who might seek to exploit your vulnerabilities, as you no longer need them to feel complete or secure. Instead, you choose relationships that are built on mutual respect, trust, and equality. Independence allows you to recognize red flags and walk away from situations that don't serve you, further disempowering those who might try to take advantage of your dependence. Independence is about reclaiming your life. It's about stepping into your own power and refusing to let anyone else dictate how you should live. This kind of autonomy is not just empowering, it's transformative. It changes how you see yourself, how you interact with others, and how you navigate the world. It gives you the freedom to make choices that align with your values, the strength to overcome obstacles, and the confidence to stand tall in the face of adversity. And in doing so, it disempowers those who would seek to control, manipulate, or diminish you, ensuring that your life remains yours to live. Silence is one of the most underestimated tools of strength and influence. It is not just the absence of sound, but a deliberate act of withholding, observing, and conserving energy. In a world that thrives on noise, chatter, and constant activity, silence often stands out as an unshakable force. It commands attention, inspires introspection, and creates an aura of mystery and power. Those who master the art of silence understand that not every situation requires a response. Not every challenge demands an explanation, and not every moment is meant to be filled with words. Silence, when used intentionally, becomes a form of control over yourself, over a situation, and even over others. One of the greatest strengths of silence is its ability to disarm. When someone expects an immediate reaction, whether it's in the form of anger, defense, or justification, and they are met with silence, it throws them off balance. They are left to fill the void with their assumptions, uncertainties, and insecurities. Silence can disrupt the rhythm of conflict, turning the energy back on the aggressor. It's a refusal to engage on their terms, a subtle yet powerful way of reclaiming control. Instead of reacting impulsively, silence allows you to choose your response carefully, ensuring that your actions are measured, thoughtful, and effective. Silence is also a tool for self-preservation. In moments of tension or conflict, silence can prevent you from saying things you may later regret. Words spoken in haste often lead to misunderstandings, broken relationships, and unintended consequences. Silence, on the other hand, provides a buffer between thought and action. It gives you the space to process emotions, assess the situation, and decide on the best course of action. By holding back, you maintain your composure, protect your dignity, and preserve your energy for battles that truly matter. Furthermore, silence cultivates an air of mystery. In a world where people are quick to share their thoughts, opinions, and emotions, those who remain silent are often perceived as more enigmatic and intriguing. Silence creates a sense of depth, making others curious about what you think or feel. It forces people to pay closer attention to your actions, which often speak louder than words. This aura of mystery can be a source of power, as it compels others to respect your boundaries and approach you with caution. Silence signals that you do not need to explain yourself, justify your decisions, or seek validation from anyone. In communication, silence can be a strategic tool. It allows you to listen more effectively, picking up on subtle cues that others might miss. When you are silent, you give others the space to reveal their thoughts, intentions, and emotions. This information can be invaluable, especially in negotiations, conflicts, or personal interactions. By remaining silent, you position yourself as an observer rather than a participant, gaining insight and perspective that can inform your next move. Silence also shifts the dynamic of a conversation, as it places the onus on the other person to fill the space, often revealing more than they intended. Silence is also a form of resistance. In a world where voices are often drowned out by louder, more dominant forces, silence can be a way to withhold consent, refuse compliance, or reject engagement. It is a form of nonviolent protest, a way of asserting your autonomy and refusing to be drawn into a situation on someone else's terms. Silence can be a statement of strength, signaling that you will not be coerced, manipulated, or provoked. It is a refusal to participate in dynamics that do not serve your values or well-being. On a personal level, silence is a pathway to self-awareness. In the quiet moments, free from distractions and external influences, you can connect with your innermost thoughts, feelings, and desires. Silence allows you to reflect on your experiences, gain clarity on your goals, and tune into your intuition. It is in these moments of solitude that you discover your true self, unfiltered by the noise of the outside world. Silence is not just a retreat, it is a recharge. It replenishes your energy, sharpens your focus, and prepares you to face the challenges of life with renewed strength. Silence also teaches discipline. It requires restraint to hold your tongue when you want to speak, to remain still when you want to act, and to stay composed when emotions run high. This discipline builds resilience, helping you navigate difficult situations with grace and poise. It teaches you that not every battle needs to be fought, not every comment needs a reply, and not every provocation deserves a reaction. Silence helps you prioritize your energy, ensuring that you invest it in the things that truly matter. Silence can be a source of empowerment. It reminds you that you are in control of your words, your actions, and your emotions. It frees you from the need to explain, defend, or seek approval. Silence allows you to stand firm in your truth, confident in the knowledge that your worth is not determined by the noise you make, but by the impact you create. It is a reminder that strength is not always loud sometimes. It is quiet, steady, and unyielding. Silence, when embraced, becomes a powerful tool for navigating life with confidence, clarity, and purpose. In the journey of life, success is often seen as a personal triumph, a moment of validation for the hard work, dedication, and sacrifices made along the way. But for some, success can be perceived as a threat. when you achieve what others strive for, when you surpass expectations and reach heights they may never have believed possible, your success becomes their defeat. The truth is, not everyone around you will celebrate your victories. In fact, for some, seeing you succeed serves as a reminder of their own limitations, missed opportunities, and unfulfilled aspirations. It is not that they wish harm upon you, but your success casts a shadow over their own insecurities, and in that space, their defeat is inevitable. When you succeed, especially in a world where comparison is often inevitable, you force others to confront the reality of their own struggles. They might not have the same opportunities, the same talents, or the same drive, and witnessing your progress can stir up feelings of inadequacy. Some will smile to your face, pretending to support you, but deep down they cannot escape the uncomfortable truth that your success highlights their own perceived failures. Your achievements, whether big or small, remind them of what they have yet to accomplish or the dreams they have yet to chase. There's a peculiar kind of energy that success brings. It's not just the applause or recognition that comes with it, but the way it forces people to evaluate their own lives. When someone around you achieves success, it becomes a mirror reflecting the choices, actions, and decisions that have shaped their own life. Those who feel threatened by your achievements might try to minimize them, dismiss them, or downplay your efforts because they cannot reconcile your success with their own sense of limitation. They will attempt to convince themselves that your victory isn't significant, that it was just luck, or that it wasn't earned. But the more they try to downplay it, the more it reveals their internal struggle with their own sense of failure. It's important to understand that success does not happen in a vacuum. It is the result of years of hard work, sacrifices, and overcoming challenges. Those who are threatened by your success may not see the late nights, the struggles, or the setbacks that you endured to get there. They only see the end result, and from that perspective, they may feel the weight of their own unmet expectations pressing down on them. Your victory becomes a glaring reminder that they too could have succeeded, but they didn't. Your success serves as a mirror to their inaction, their fear, or their inability to push through the difficulties that you faced head-on. There is a certain power in your success, not because of the external rewards it brings, but because of what it reveals about your character. It reveals that you did not give up, that you kept pushing even when the road got tough, and that you believed in your own potential when no one else did. This is a power that others may find difficult to accept. Your success is a testament to your resilience, your ability to rise above the noise, and your unwillingness to settle for mediocrity. For some, this is a challenge they cannot bear to confront. They would rather keep you on their level, in a place where your achievements don't threaten their self-image. But when you rise above, when you show them what's possible, you force them to face the uncomfortable truth their failure is a result of their own choices, not the circumstances they blame. Your success can be a challenge to their worldview. It can shake their belief systems and force them to reconsider their own limitations. Success is a reminder that there is always more to achieve, always more to learn, and always more to become. For some, this can be a liberating thought, but for others, it's an impossible reality to accept. They might resent you for showing them what they're capable of, for revealing a path they could have taken but chose not to. Your victory is a constant reminder that they are the ones who are stuck in their own cycles of doubt and inaction. But here's the thing, their defeat is not your burden to carry. Your success does not diminish their value or potential, even if they perceive it that way. Just because your achievements force others to confront their own limitations does not mean you should stop striving for greatness. It does not mean you should shrink back or hide your light because it makes others uncomfortable. The truth is, your success is a reflection of your growth, your determination, and your refusal to settle for less. It is a testament to what is possible when you commit to your goals and trust in your own abilities. And while their defeat might stem from their inability to rise to the occasion, it is not your responsibility to fix it. Their journey is their own, just as your success is yours. Don't let their feelings of inadequacy rob you of the joy and pride that should come with your achievements. Understand that not everyone will be able to celebrate your success. Some may be too focused on their own failures to see the beauty in your progress. But that doesn't take away from the truth that you have worked hard, overcome obstacles, and earned every victory that comes your way. Success will always be a double-edged sword, and for some, your triumph will be a painful reminder of their own limitations. But for others, it will be an inspiration, a beacon of hope, and a sign that anything is possible if you're willing to put in the work. At the end of the day, your success is not defined by their defeat. It is defined by your own journey, your own perseverance, and your own growth. Keep moving forward, keep striving for more, and let your success be a testament to the power of persistence and belief in oneself.